Welcome back to Preserve It Right, Basic Food Preservation for Home Cooks. In Lesson 1, we learned one very important rule. Food preservation is food safety. Today, we will begin with the first and simplest preservation technique, cold preservation through refrigeration and freezing. This method is familiar to every home kitchen, but many people do not fully understand how it works. Refrigeration and freezing do not magically make food safe forever. They help control time and temperature so that food spoils more slowly. Let us begin with refrigeration. Refrigeration keeps food cold. Cold temperature slows down the growth of many bacteria, yeasts, and molds. It also slows down enzyme activity, which means food quality can last longer. But refrigeration does not stop all microorganisms. Some can still grow slowly in cold conditions. That is why refrigerated food still has a limited shelf life. For home cooks, this means we must store food properly, cover it well, label it, and use it within a safe time. Examples of refrigerated preserved foods include cooked meals, fresh sauces, open jars, dairy products, cut fruits, cooked meats, and many pickled or fermented foods after opening. Now let us talk about freezing. Freezing uses a much colder temperature. It stops most microbial growth while the food remains frozen. This makes freezing one of the most useful preservation techniques for home kitchens and small food businesses. But here is the important safety point. Freezing does not kill all bacteria, it only keeps them inactive. When frozen food is thawed, microorganisms can become active again. That is why thawing must be done safely. The best method is to thaw food inside the refrigerator, not on the kitchen bench. Food should not sit for a long time at room temperature because bacteria can grow quickly when food becomes warm. Good freezing also depends on packaging. Poor packaging can cause freezer burn, dryness, off flavors, and loss of quality. Use clean airtight containers, freezer safe bags, or sealed packaging. Remove excess air when possible. Always label the food with the name and date. For example, if you freeze ube halaya, cooked meals, meat, seafood, fruit puree, or sauces, write the product name and the freezing date. This helps rotate your food and avoid keeping old items too long. Another important rule is portioning. Freeze food in smaller portions so it freezes faster and thaws more safely. Large containers take longer to freeze in the center, and that can affect both safety and quality. Remember this simple cold preservation checklist. First, cool cooked food quickly before refrigeration or freezing. Second, use clean containers. Third, cover or seal the food properly. Fourth, label the food with name and date. Fifth, thaw frozen food safely in the refrigerator. And sixth, do not refreeze food repeatedly after it has fully thawed, unless it has been handled safely and cooked properly. Cold preservation is simple, but it requires discipline. Refrigeration slows spoilage. Freezing pauses most microbial growth, but both methods depend on correct handling, clean packaging, and safe thawing. So the lesson for today is this. Cold temperature is one of the easiest ways to preserve food, but it is not a substitute for food safety. In the next lesson, we will move to another basic preservation method, sugar preservation. We will discuss how sugar helps preserve jams, syrups, fruit preserves, and sweet products. Thank you for joining Lesson 2. I will see you in the next class.